Well, hello everybody. Guess what time it is? It is 7 o'clock on Saturday, and normally that would mean Minecraft, but as you know, we recently changed up our schedule. Let me move away from the stream, so maybe you can hear me. That's better. You would not believe how often I have to go to the bathroom when I'm sleeping in that bus right next to a stream. Anyway, so yes, normally we were doing Farming Simulator on Tuesdays, Remote on Thursdays, and Minecraft on Saturdays. We have since mixed up our schedule ever so a little bit there, and all three games are now part of what we're calling Variety Night. So Saturday nights are Variety Night, and we will rotate through the three games that we were playing previously. Obviously, starting with Farming Simulator here. And then next week will be RimWorld, week after that Minecraft. You guys get the idea. Hopefully the schedule's not messing anyone up too bad. And Tuesdays and Thursdays are now for EVE Online. So if you are watching because you enjoy the EVE Online content, that will be returning on Tuesday and also Thursday. But hey, stick around and watch some Farming Simulator, because it's just kind of like a more intimate planetary interaction, right? So yeah, where we were, actually the tractor is over here. We were cutting down trees and taking them over to the yarder, which we have set up down towards the front of the tractor there. And you can see, obviously, we've cleared out some of this area already. I'm just kind of trying to define the line between the property I own and the property I don't own. Just to make that distinction a little bit clearer for later projects. But I wanted to look at something before we really got going here. So we're actually going to pull up the shop window. And as you know, we have the original land up on the hill. And I will show that to you guys on the map. In case you don't know, that's where the bus is located, the bus house. It is this piece of land right here. You look at farmland number 30, and it's kind of surrounded by this stream slash pond thing here, and we've removed all the trees from it. So all that's left there is tree stumps and bushes and grass, basically. So what I would like to do first of all is paint that whole area apologies, with just the grass texture so that the tree stumps pop out a little bit better, and then lease the stump grinder from the store here. And let me pull that up so you can see what we're talking about. Super basic kind of thing here. Just connects to the back of your tractor, has a little grinding thing, and lets you grind down the stumps, which is great. I have tested it on the tractor. I know that it works on the tractor. We've got the horsepower for it. So I'd love to go through and clear out the stumps, and then go into the construction menu and put meadow grass on the whole thing, and start doing some grassland work up on the land there, which we can afford. Well, not quite yet afford to purchase, but very soon. A mower head, this 9500 Kuhn, that'll just attach to the back of the tractor, and we can drive it backwards or forwards depending on what we want to do, and mow the grass. And then we can switch over to a baler, and there's one baler that we can run with the horsepower we have, and it's this guy, the Massey Ferguson 1840. And gives us the tiny 120 centimeter bales, which, as it happens, can be loaded by the one baling trailer that we can operate that does that size bale. So you kind of see like how everything is working for us. It's literally the only trailer that will load them automatically. So we could technically plant a grass field up there, mow it every 3 months, bale it, and sell those bales to the shop for an income that we can get recurrently, so we don't constantly have to buy land and cut down trees to afford the next piece of land. Although we will continue doing that. It'll just be a nice little change of pace and give us something extra to do in between all of the tree cutting. So I think that is something that we're going to do right now. We have $7,661, and we're actually going to jump off the tractor here. Nope, not what I wanted. And we're going to fast travel to our home, such as it is, and jump into the construction menu. So we can go ahead and start doing that grassland painting right off the bat. And that's not what I wanted. The construction select. There we go. Alright, so let me rotate our camera here. Get a little bit better. Now the fun thing about painting is that it's going to remove all of the bushes. It's also going to remove any grass that's already here, so we'll have to replant that. But I think ultimately that is worth it. And eventually we can get a skid steer and cut out things like this, the rock, and like break them up into gravel and just get them out of the way. Because in this map, the rocks are destroyable, which is also pretty cool. Yeah, this is the entirety of our little piece of land up here. So it's not huge. It does have a couple of these rocks, which we will need to move at some point. But that's a later problem. It also has these. These are immovable tree stump things that I can't do anything about, which kind of sucks. Do I own this land? Okay, that's a question. This land, right here. No, I do not. I need 31. And then I can cut that tree that's like falling across the thing there. But we need 33 first. Okay, anyway, back to what we were doing. Let's go ahead and do our painting. So we go to landscaping, painting, and we're going to get the grass texture here. And I'm trying to remember the controls. Right. There we go. Change brush size. I've been doing like screenshots and stuff, and I always forget that I turn that off to do the screenshots typically, so. All right. Alright, I gotta make sure I watch my money here and don't go overboard with this. Okay, so it looks like I can't really get those bushes. That's okay. That's not really an area we're going to be mowing anyway. Let's just do broad strokes as much as we can, and then we'll get a little bit closer to the edges here. Basically, we're just going to go around the whole edge of the island, as I call it. And get rid of as much as we can. And make sure we keep a couple thousand in reserve so I can pay leasing costs when those come up. It's a little hard to predict where it's going to be able to actually paint. Okay, so it looks like my land officially ends right here. So for those of you who watch and don't like to talk, that is a-okay. I'm perfectly happy in talking into the void, such as it is. I used to do some YouTube stuff, so I'm kind of used to it. However, I would greatly appreciate it if you gave us a follow. That way you can get notified when we're going live, and you don't miss anything. And then you can just hang out to your heart's content. That does most of it right there. And get a little closer to the edge here. And let's change the shape back to the square. That seems to help us get a little more edgeward. Now, this doesn't have to be perfect, obviously. But it just makes it easier to see what we're working with. Like this stump, obviously, I would love to have this cleared around it, so I know I need to grind that down, but might just have to remember that it's there. Alright. Not loving that, that's fine. I think I got everything in front of the bus. Alright, got those, that's good. Kind of get the little bits here. Hard to get under the rocks a lot of the times. But if you play, you probably know that. Alright, we are just about down to our reserve amount anyway. Okay, so like I said, I probably won't mess with any of that stuff, because it's going to be too hard to get back in there with a mower. Cannot get that stuff. Some stuff is fine, and some stuff is just like, really just cannot get to it at all. That is our smallest brush. If I can't get it with that, I'm probably not going to be able to get it. Except with like a forestry mulcher. And I'm not sure I'm ready to do all that yet. My tractor can't run one anyway. Not even the small one. But when we do get ready to plant a real grass field up here, that is 100% something that we will do. We'll go over the whole thing with a forestry mulcher, turn it all into field, and do all the proper field work and get it ready for real grass planting. Now, I was looking at planters and stuff also that my tractor might be able to operate. And it looks like the only ones that it can actually run are the ones that are attached to the grassland care, like grass rollers, which are basically worthless implements when you have precision farming installed, because rolling your grass actually doesn't do anything with precision farming. But since you can attach planters to them, it does give me a way to plant oilseed radish, canola, and grass seed with the tractor that we currently have. So that's a fun thing. I do have plows that I can run with that tractor, like just a couple of them. There's fertilizers we can run with the tractor, so that's good. Okay. So yeah, that's step one. I don't know if we can get close enough to any of this. We'll try. Not so. That's okay. Step two is getting that, that is quite the little land deformation there, isn't it? Probably from placing the bus. So we'll try to smooth that out. Level, soften. And make that a little bit more gentle. That's the other thing with turning forest into field, is a lot of times the land is not in a good place for it. Hey, thanks BMX Gaming for the follow. Appreciate it. Like I said earlier, it definitely does help the channel, and make sure you get notified anytime that we are actually streaming. So, good for everybody. Okay. So yeah, that's step one. Step two is going to be renting, or leasing, I guess, technically, the stump grinder to get rid of a lot of these tree stumps, the non-permanent ones. There's a lot more permanent ones than I thought. This guy, this guy, this guy, and this. And then obviously the rocks are things that we'll have to deal with later as well, but we can just mow around them for right now. But right now, that's about what I can afford for that project. So let's jump back into our tree harvesting here. And like I said, we're just sort of going up along the line here and trying to figure out like what's ours and what's on the other land. I think this, yeah, other land. And I'm reasonably sure that means this is also not mine. This is probably not mine. Yeah. Okay, so this one is mine. This one is not. Okay. Well, that's pretty clear. Now, obviously, we will... Oh, that jumped right back, didn't it? Oh, wow. Yeah, so you made a big jump in the, in the series there. Okay, 22 is really awesome. They've added a lot of cool stuff. Seasons in particular, and then productions is another one of the big things. So, like, normally you would just take this stuff to the general store, but I have the option of taking this, like buying the old sawmill on this map and taking this there, and it'll produce like planks, and then I can sell the planks instead. So I don't get any profit from the logs directly, but I can process them into planks and then get more profit that way. So yeah, 22 is awesome. Silver Run in particular, if you're into the forestry stuff, that's pretty much this whole map. So I can just show you real quick what it looks like to start with. Basically, everything that you see on here that is trees is like forestry lands. Up here there's an iron mine, and yeah, there's like 3 fields, and then this isn't currently a field, but like it's a spot you could easily turn into a field, like it's already flat and everything, and kind of same with this. But yeah, like that's the only spots for traditional farming really. So you got 27, 39, 41, 26, and 42, and then everything else you pretty much have to clear and then turn it into fields if you want to do that. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Definitely keep me up to date on how you're getting along with it. The first time I did this map, I went kind of the boatyard route. So I did a lot of the forestry stuff, bought the sawmill, turned that into planks, and then bought a bunch of the productions here in the city to get like all the other pieces and parts that you need for boats, and then delivered all of that to the boatyard down here next to plot 40, and it makes a boat and like launches it and then pays you for the boat when you own the boatyard. So it's pretty cool. There's also this roller coaster right above 40 that you can put stuff into, and if you finish it and then you ride it a certain number of times, I think it's like 15, it'll actually turn on a more limited version of the strength mod, so you can like actually pick up pallets with your bare hands instead of having to use a forklift for a lot of it. So It's really cool. Definitely worth it. Plus, it's just fun to ride a roller coaster that you helped build. Alright, anyway. Let's finish debranching this guy. If we can. Come on. Alright, so it just sticks right up there. Now we need to cut this into manageable lengths, because that's a little too long. Honestly, let's actually pull it out of the bush here first. While I'm thinking about it. It'd be easier to hack up once we're in clear space. No, oh crap. I hate when I hit the wrong key. Especially when you go, like, a certain distance away. Alright, it's a B. Not R again. There we go. Tap into this. Really, we just want to drag this down into the open. So I don't care how close it is, how much. Control K that. Come on, gravity, give me a hand here. Yeah, the winch is fun, especially when your tractor's a little underpowered. Okay, so let's just keep dragging that down. Alright, that's good. Alright, so the smallest sections are going to be back here. The yarder can only carry so much. Alright, what are we looking at? That's a little undersized, actually. I'll probably go a little bigger. I'm just getting the same mass every time. That's about how that goes. Honestly, this might break it up enough. Yeah, I think we can get all of that. Now, if that was a Ponderosa, it'd be way too heavy, but I think that'll do. Let's see if we can pull that a little bit. Alright, we'll come back for the pieces there. Let's touch that. And drag the other two down here. Alright, let's see if we can move this guy. Oh yeah, that's not a problem. So obviously the plan to buy this piece of land to the left of the one that we currently own makes sense, because this is where we have to take the wood to do the yarder anyway. I see the dead wood, but I don't actually see the yarder rope. That's a little concerning. It was here. Maybe it detaches when you, like, leave the game. Alright, so let's drop those there. And ourselves around. Let's jump out here. Oh no, it's here. Good. Let's get the carriage to come over this way. We're probably going to start with this big guy first. I'm pretty sure it'll handle it. It's just going to be a little ungainly, and then it might actually be able to take the other three all at once. Typically you can do like up to a ton on the yarder before it starts like flipping. And these are all under that. 833, 5 something. And those would be 6. Okay, so we might have to do like 3 trips instead of 2. Okay. Let's attach that. And let's see if it'll carry it. Come on. No. I think it'll take it as long as it doesn't have to drag it too far. This should be a little bit better. That's so frustrating. Try a little further back on the log. Oh jeez. Good thing this is a game where you can't actually get hurt. Guess that was a little close. Okay. Well, that's progress. Alright, that's got it. Yeah, I knew that one was going to be a little iffy. And you need to head down to the yard. Try and watch it, make sure it doesn't like hit anything and fall off. So far so good. If you watch the little graphic up there in the top left, you can see that there is still a log attached to the carriage, which is great. That's exactly what we want. And then the other 3 of these should be pretty easy to get on there. And then it kind of lets you know the little flashing arrow is where it's going, and then you can kind of watch its progress and see when it actually arrives. Once it's there, we can detach and then call it back. And yeah, I was driving them down the roads to the sawmill with the tractor and winch, and it was taking a long time. So the yarder has been a game changer. It's definitely helping us clear out the woods a lot faster than we were before, and get the money rolling in a little bit more quickly, which has been amazing. That's how we got our little school bus house last stream. Its way. Hear that magic carriage sound? The way these things work is really cool. It's like a whole pulley system. And there's 2 different yarders. The smaller one actually uses your tractor engine to do the pulley system. So it's only able to pull stuff downhill. But the bigger one has its own engine and can go uphill or downhill. So it doesn't matter how you set it up. You can put the yarder on the bottom or you can put the yarder on the top. I usually put it on the bottom. I think that's the intended design. And yeah, you can just use the R function to get it to come back to you, and then the X button to send it back to the yarder, which is one of the advantages of having the yarder set up where you want everything to go. And then this is a system we'll actually use once we have the old sawmill, because for that, all you have to do is get the log to touch the lake, and it like pulls it in. So it's even simpler. We don't have to detach and like jump over there and sell it. Like, it just pulls it into the production and starts making pallets and stuff out of it. Okay, so let's get rid of that and call it back. And we'll send these down and go get another tree. We'll probably let the carriage get back to this point before we go get the next tree, just so it's here and waiting for us. Yeah, man. Yeah, the downside is it is a little bit slow to move back and forth, but like I said, this is a lot faster than what we were doing before. And especially for the mountain stuff on this map, like, there's very little flat ground that you're working on, and so this is game changing for all of that. Because it lets you do exactly what we're doing. Take your chainsaw up on a hill, cut down a tree, and hook it up to the yarder and drag it back down the hill where you can actually like properly process it. And then, like I was saying before with the old sawmill and just having to get the trees to touch the thing, and you're not selling them, you're turning them into lumber, you don't even have to debranch them. So there was a lot of times on a previous playthrough, I'd set up the yarder, I'd cut down a tree, and I would use the yarder to drag the whole tree, branches and all, right into that lake. And it worked great. Now it's heading down to the yarder now. Almost there. there, bring it back. And once it's back, we gotta remember to turn off the follow mode, otherwise it will literally keep sliding on this line to get as close as it can to us. So it actually ends up all the way up next to its anchor tree, typically. Which is not what we want. We just want it to sit right here to where we come back with more wood for it to take. So with this map in particular, if forestry is kind of your thing, I will go ahead and let you know. There are so many trees on this map, it will not innately let you plant more trees. So you either have to cut it down enough that you're below like I think it's 1,000 trees on the map, which is crazy low because there's over 5,000 trees on this map. So it's a whole lot of the map you got to cut down to get to that point. Or if you're fine with using mods, which I know most FS22 people are, you can install the more trees mod, and it ups the map cap for trees to like I don't even know what it ups it to, but it's more than enough to also plant new trees. Here. That's where I was working. I think this is where I was working. Yeah, I see tree stumps. But yeah, it'll let you plant more trees on the map, even if you haven't cut down any, so. It is helpful if you just want to keep working the forestry angle. Alright, so obviously we've got this little guy and this. I found out in a previous stream you can get rid of some of these like that, which is awesome. Before I had no idea you could do that, so that's been a great thing to know. And we're just going to get rid of this little guy. These you can literally carry. And you can actually debranch on land that you don't own. You can't cut at all, which makes perfect sense. But debranching can be done. So this will be here. We'll send that little guy with one of the bigger pieces. I think we said for sure that's not mine. Let me get this out of the way. Yes, I can. I love that so much. I used to think you needed a forestry mulcher to get rid of these, and that does work, but like I said, my tractor can't even operate one of those. It requires too much horsepower. And sometimes you can't get low enough, and sometimes it's like the wrong kind of tree. So I'm trying here, but it's not going for that one. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and take this one. Control spruce. So many branches on this. I cannot wait to have a tree harvester to help with this branch craziness. Because when you cut, you literally just debranch at the same time. Actually, I wanted to do some price comparison, because there's a couple options for that. You could do an actual harvester, like a dedicated. Okay. Or there's the Volvo excavators. You can grab those, and they have harvester head options as well. But I haven't compared the prices between the two to see like what would be the least expensive to get started with. And they actually even have one that's not a harvester, it's literally just like a processor. So instead of harvesting the full tree, you can cut it down with a chainsaw and then just run it through the processor to strip the branches off. And like cut it into the length sections that you want. So that might be an option too. A little bit of a hybrid approach. Oh, that's close enough. Oh, dear. Okay, so this is 1.2 tons by itself. It's obviously not going to be right in the center because most of the mass is in the bottom. Try it here. Okay, so this is $5.99. This is $5.90. Wow. Okay, can't get much better than that. I will take it. Actually, let's just carry this up to where those are. And attach it right there. Jump in here. Pull down the road a little bit. And then let's Control K that right on in here. Okay. Take that on down to the yarder. Yeah, the first time I tried to use the yarder, I wasn't sure exactly how much weight it would carry. So I was literally dragging trees back and forth from my land to where the rope is actually at. And trying to get them cut down to the right size that it would actually take them. It was a whole process. But we did eventually get there. I think like a ton is basically the max, but like if you don't want to have too many problems with it, it's safer to go with like 700 kilograms or so, 750, something like that. And typically it doesn't buck too much when you do them at about that weight in. Alright. Don't think it should have a trouble with those. There we go. And send it down to the yarder. Like I said, gotta disable follow mode. It just stays right there. Did not reeled in all the way? It wasn't reeled in all the way. Okay. Yeah, it's still hooked. That's good. Yeah, the other piece of land I need to buy is this one down here. That is this guy. Because the rope goes right over it, and I need to make a nice clear path. Plus there's lots of trees to harvest here, and this section makes a decent sized field that is relatively flat once it's clear of trees and rocks. You know, like I was saying with that last playthrough I did, I actually turned that into a field for cotton, so I could do sails for the ships in the boatyard. I'm gonna grab a drink while we're waiting for the carriage. There we go. We coming? Yep. There it is. Yeah, I don't know what it is about Farming Simulator, but it's a really enjoyable game. I think just because it's like nice and peaceful and very relaxing. I like doing the forestry stuff. I like doing field work. It just feels good. So usually I let the trees kind of build up down at the sawmill for a while, and then I'll jump down and sell them all at once. Just get like a big lump sum. That way I'm not like too disappointed if one tree isn't like a stellar value or anything. It all just sort of mushes together. The last time I did this, I got like right around 20,000, I think, from selling the bunch of them. So, not too shabby. I was making maybe a couple thousand per log, dragging them all the way down. It took a lot longer. And man, they got stuck on absolutely everything. They even like touched a streetlight. They were just hard stuck. And you'd have to turn off the traffic, and it was a whole thing. So yeah, I'm very glad we've got this system. Now it is leased. I don't own this yet. It's $95,000. So once we have secured the next piece of land, I'll feel pretty comfortable to go ahead and save up and buy this officially. But yeah, it works just fine as a lease right now. And then the funny thing is, I'm pretty sure since it's not actually attached to the tractor while we're using it, it's not accruing any work hours, which is amazing. Because on a lease, as you know, you pay for the work hours that you put on equipment. In addition to like the days that you have it. So really right now we're just paying for the days that we have it, which is it's great. Works out very well for us right now. Alright, so this is our is this the one that I tried to cut down? I think it is. I'm gonna try again. Yeah, this was the one. Okay, well, never mind. I do need to get rid of these little guys. They're kind of a pain though. Let's start with the Bruce. And really the little ones are just to get them out of the way. Because even these, the little ones, like the ones that I'm able to just cut and sort of grind down into nothing, those count as trees. Like I think even these kind of things count as trees for that total. So every one that you get rid of is one closer to being able to plant more trees. Or like I said, you can just do the mod, but I'm trying to do a no mod challenge, so for us it's tree clearing is our option. Come on. Yeah, it fell through here, which is fine. Okay. We're getting there. Let's go ahead and grab our winch cable and pull this down. There she goes. And just ride this. Free surfing. Fell off. Come on. Dang, I tried. Did pull the tractor a little bit, not too bad. Lowering the winch helps it like just kind of hold tight. Alright, let's go ahead and detach that. How big is this? 1.2. Alright, it's another one of these. Alright, right about here. Yeah, that works. We're gonna find the cut line. Right there. Okay. Let's release that for now. And let's go ahead and take these little guys. What are these even? Pagoda dogwoods. Yeah, you usually don't get very much for these. What the sawmill wants is like really long, straight, decently thick trees without like a lot of branches and stuff all over them. And this is how it debranches, with these little spindly things on the ends. And it's just not the profit margin they're looking for. So we cut them down to get them out of the way, but yeah, they're not going to make you very much. I think I took one down to the sawmill at one point and it was like a $4 value. It was terrible. I love that it still makes like the huge tree breaking sound, even though it's this tiny little nothing tree. Just makes me laugh. I do love the ambiance of the sound, but yeah, it just seems silly because it's such a small tree. There we go. I get all of it. Yeah, it looks like it. And then this is kind of the advantage, at least for my mental health, of selling them all in a lump sum. Is like doing these little Pagoda Dogwoods as individual sales would just be brutally discouraging. Come on. But you know, it'll be an extra $8 in the in the final sale value, so that's good. Like I said, the big thing is just getting them out of the way so they're not interfering with cutting down other trees and eventually turning things into fields. So that's sort of the point there. And as you can imagine, the branches will catch on things a lot more than the smooth trees, and the smooth trees catch on things all the time. But yeah, it's a little crazy. I mean, the map looks awesome. So as far as like aesthetics, it's great. But yeah, the value for forestry work is just not there. Okay, so this guy is 540 something. Let's send one with each of the logs. I figure that makes sense. Let's send it back. Just swings on into the distance there. It looks like the sun's going to be setting soon, so we get to sleep in our super cool bus house. And it will charge us about $1,000 for continuing to lease the yarder. Again, totally worth it. And also, like, I could just work through the night and get a lot more work done instead of paying the leasing cost and not using it during the night. But doing anything in the night in this game, it's just not as much fun as doing it during the day. So in my mind, for the ease of the work, it's definitely worth it to just go ahead and sleep and pay the extra leasing cost. It's not like I have a lot of property maintenance costs right now anyway, so it's fine. Actually, what we could do once the sun gets to a point where it's going to be a little bit harder to do our work here, we can set up next to the house so we're ready to sleep as soon as we're done with our project. But we can take a look at the shop and do some of those price comparisons that I was talking about. Let's grab this and this. And just see what our options are as far as harvesters. Obviously, we'll probably be getting our grasswork equipment first. Yeah, so that's a little note. If you don't turn off you don't hit the R key to disable the carriage follow mode, you can't hit the X key to send it back to the yarder because it's still trying to follow you. So if you do hit the X key and it doesn't go anywhere, it's probably because you have the carriage follow mode still enabled. So you just gotta turn that off and then hit the X key and it goes right where it's supposed to go. Also, I don't know if I pointed that out, but that little triangle in between the yarder tower and the anchor tree on the image there, there's one over by the yarder. That's where we've commanded the carriage to go, but there's one like almost halfway in between. That's literally where we're standing right now, along the yarder rope. And as I move along the rope, you can see that is moving. But yeah, I think I'll take a look at the prices once it gets dark of the harvesters. And like, I've kind of looked at the harvesters already, so I know there's one in particular that is the cheapest. And if you do Silver Run in New Farmer mode, excuse me, you actually get one for free as part of like your starting equipment, so that's nice. But even as the cheapest option, it's still pretty expensive. It's like $150,000, which sitting on 2,200-ish right now, it does seem like kind of a lot. So we'll have to look at the excavator and see if that's any cheaper. And there's like disable that. There's feller bunchers and stuff, but I don't want to get into all that because it's not a whole lot different than what I'm doing now with the chainsaw. Like, I want something to cut the tree into segments and debranch it at the same time. And that is a tree harvester, or pretty much the excavator with one of the tree harvesting heads attached to it. I think it has like a default one that it can do, or there's like a more robust one that you can add as a quick attachment. I'll turn the lights on so we can find it again. Eventually we will get rid of these deadwood trees, but they also don't net us very much profit. So I haven't messed with them yet. Alright, let's see where our property line's at. Not that one. Oh, not that one. Of course this is mine. The one I don't want. Okay. And like, you can cut these bits off, but then you just have like these little sticks laying around that you just don't have anything to do with. So what you would typically use these trees for is like, you'd throw them in the wood chippers and like make wood chips out of them. So that's kind of their intended purpose. Like, I'd rather just focus on the actual like log harvesting. That seemed to work out the best in my last playthrough, and that's what I'm going for again. And then once you have the old sawmill, it actually produces wood chips as a byproduct of turning all of the trees you put into it into like planks. Can I lift this? Can I not lift this? Really? Too heavy. Okay. Let's get the winch rope and drag it down. Thought maybe I'd be able to carry that, but I guess not. Okay, too long. We're actually going to have to drive the tractor up here a little bit, which is a-okay. Actually pretty good with the backwards driving, so not a big deal. Oh, oops. Going to lower the winch. And we can jump off. Parked it in the bushes, so we'll never find it again. And let's grab the winch rope. And then just drag that in real quick. Well, that shouldn't be too heavy. Don't see any reason to segment it up or even take it by itself. We'll keep going here and see what's ours and what belongs elsewhere. That's not ours. That's not ours. I guess this is mine. Yep. It's all the ones I don't want. Ah, it's so frustrating. Now this one I'm pretty sure I can carry. Let's see. Did it all? Looks like it. Okay. This we can just drop off next to this guy. There. We can get 2 more things worth. How heavy is this? Doesn't tell me. Take it and find out. Alright. Almost 800 kilograms. I can probably convince the yarder to do that. It would be safer to cut it in half. Yeah, let's just cut it. It's going to be easier than having to drag it back up here. If I am wrong, so. I've got it. Or not even where I cut it. I could have sworn I saw a cut line there. There we go. Reel it in, attach to these two, and then drag it all down to the yarder. really good. Yes, looks like we missed some debranching. We'll take care of that once we stop. Like I said, you can do debranching just fine on other property. It's just cutting the actual logs is a no-go. Even if it's something you've already cut down and are just trying to like cut in half. So those you have to drag back to your own land in order to cut them. But yeah, debranching, not a problem. Let's put the lights right here so I can see what I'm doing. I love that you can just leave the lights on, like pretty much forever, without any actual issues. Yeah, I know you're saying that, but that is not actually true. There we go. See? Got it. So let's take this guy. You know what? Let's take the bigger of these and the smaller of these. Now, technically, the yarder is also capable of attaching up to 4 logs at the same time. But again, they have to be, like, under that weight limit, or it's just going to drop them. There it goes. What I might do is actually, once we lose the sun, jump down to the sawmill, sell what we have so far, and then jump up to the house and do our price comparisons in the shop, and then sleep through the night. I love that you can like just barely hear it do the release, even though it's super far away. Makes me wonder how loud that release mechanism is. Excuse me. As you like, can't wait to harvest these things. They are one of the best trees, especially for tree harvesters. They're 36.3 meters, which means not only is it one of the most profitable wood types for selling directly as logs, but at 36.3 meters, and the 3 is like branches, so they come right off, it'll excuse me, dang. It'll perfectly divide into 3 12-meter logs for placing in the largest containers if you're going that route, or it'll divide into 4 9-meter logs to sell at a sawmill if you're going that route. And that's one of the more profitable, that's like the most profitable length for selling at the sawmill without a container. So yeah, really just like the perfect forestry tree. And obviously, like in real life, they don't always land at 36.3 meters when full grown. But it's nice that they do in game. The other thing to note is that all of the trees that are native to the map are in their final growth stages. So if you see like baby lodgepoles that aren't the 36 11.3 meters. So yeah, see, this is a lodgepole pine. It's only 11.6 meters, but because it's one that the developers put on the map and not one that you planted, it's never going to get any bigger than this. So it doesn't hurt you to just go ahead and cut these things down and get them out of the way. But the ones that you plant, you want to wait for them to grow to their full height before you cut them. Because they will all continue to grow until they reach their full height. And they do grow on a month basis, so if you're doing 1 day months, they'll grow a lot faster than if you're doing, 5, 10, 30 day months. So yeah, just note that if you're doing more than 1 day a month for your schedule, your gameplay, which I know a lot of people do 2 day months. Typically the trees will grow as the month rolls over, and that's kind of how they calculate their growth. So you will see them grow a lot less quickly than you might read that they do online. So just something to note. A lot of players will do 2 day months for the field work and stuff, just in case, like, it's harvest time, but you're doing a grain and it happens to be raining. You actually get only half your yield if you harvest while it's raining. So they like to have that second day so they can do the harvest the following day, and it stays in the month that they intended for it to be in. And then they also get their full yield because it's not raining. But if you're only doing forestry work, and like that's literally all you're doing, there's no reason you can't do 1 day months and be totally fine. Alright, so let's run over here. I believe these were on the other land. That means the deadwood is also likely. But this belongs to me. Alright, so we'll go ahead and turn on the flashlight so we can see just that little bit more clearly, as it's starting to hit that like twilight period. Oh crap. That's not what I meant to do. That's okay though. This is 1.2 tons. We're going to need to give that a nice little cut right here towards the center. This should be fine. $700. Okay, not my best, but should be able to lift that with everything. All right. Go ahead and pull that over here. We're losing the light pretty quick, so this might be the last run we do for this particular day. Or I guess this month, since we're on 1 day months. So for November, as it were. Alright, let's see if we can cut this. Nope, can't cut that one. But this one is definitely mine. Yeah, the first time I did this map, I was trying to put 9-meter long trees like this, like 9-meter sections of these things, in a forwarder, which is really only designed to carry like 4-meter long sections, maybe like 6 at best. So they were like hanging way off the end, and the wheels were lifting. So I was just trying to get like as much on there as I possibly could. Absolutely silly. I would not advise it. That said, it was kind of fun. So, I guess in that sense, not too bad. Trying to make sure this is not branches. How heavy is this thing? 2.3. Okay. Obviously, a lot of that is going to be down here. Let's try it right here. See if that's about half. That's what I'm hoping for. This is 1.4. Good. Alright, that's 800 or something. And 20. Let's try that one right about here. 400, 400. Okay. Not too shabby. But we're going to use the winch and drag those over. But we obviously can't take all of them at once. So, start there. Actually, the other two I might just leave for tomorrow. Or next month, depending on your perspective here. Because, yep, it is definitely too dark to continue. Let's get these things down to the road. There's enough weight here that it's lifting my front tires. That's fun. Use gravity. Get some momentum going. And get these down to the yarder. This will probably be at least 3 trips, I would expect. Fun thing to note with the map, it's going to continue to show the forest texture on like the mini map and like the farmland map and the escape menu until you put fields and stuff in, and then it will erase the forest texture and put in the field texture. So the map will change according to what you put on it. If that's something you're looking for, that does happen. And I personally think it's pretty cool. You slowly transform a map from like all forest to maybe not all field, but a lot of field. Okay, you are 490. Great. And this guy below you is 451. I think you can take both of those. I think that's all the way up. Send it down to the yarder. And it's good to watch the graphic, make sure the logs don't fall off. I have had instances where they do. Every time I've had that happen, it's been like a whole tree, not like a debranched log segment. So I was probably just trying to do too much all at once, which is understandable. Like, obviously it's a steel cable. It can't carry infinite amounts of weight, and it shouldn't be expected to. Now these guys, this is only 429, that's not too bad. This is almost 800 kilograms by itself. I can try and do them at the same time, but I have a feeling it's not gonna do both. Like, if it was two of these, that would be fine, but yeah, with this guy, I think that might just be too much weight. Well, it literally says object too heavy, but it's taking them. So I don't know why it's saying that. Yeah, so we're kind of working on this section right here, and then once we've got this cleared out, we'll move on to this section right here. We haven't really touched that yet. We're gonna try it. I don't know if it's gonna do it. All right. I'm impressed. So it might just be that each piece needs to be under a certain weight. And trying to take all of it at once is what, like, messes with it. Okay, no. Looks like they hit something and started swinging, but they're still attached. That's good. Once they're... yeah, it's over the lake now, so that's fine. There's not really many obstacles once it gets over the water like that. But there are a couple tall trees right along the path here, which is why I need to buy this piece of land and clear those out. And like I said, I love that you can leave the lights on, because you can just sort of set it up as a... point it at whatever you're working on and set it up as like a work light. But it is definitely too dark to continue. So let's just get this back over here. We'll go park the tractor kind of up where we're working. And then we'll jump over to the sawmill and see about selling all the wood that we've stockpiled there thus far. Waiting for the carriage to come back so we're ready to rock and roll in the morning. Like I said, we could work through the night, but like, it's so hard to see anything. Like, the hand flashlight only does so much, and the tractor flashlight only does so much. And if I had more money, I could just buy a bunch of cheap tractors and use them as work lights in an area, but I just don't have that kind of funding right now. Alright. Yeah, it's just super hard to see. Like, obviously I'm pointed at the road, so it's not hard to find the road. But like, I can't see anything behind me at all, because this just has the lights on the front. And there's nothing to the sides. The tree harvester does have a lot more lights on it. So if you are starting out with one of those, or you've bought one of those, the nighttime work is a lot more viable. Yeah, but for me right now, with what I've got, not so much. Not so much. That seems like a good place to stop. Actually turn the lights off and jump out. It doesn't have a ton of horsepower, but man, this thing is a workhorse. Okay, let's go ahead and jump down to the sawmill. And you can see all of our accumulated logs. A lot of them end up on top of the yarder instead of being in the thing like we would like them to be. If we can get that free. Let's go ahead and sell off anything that's already in here. That was a good 6,000. Let's bring the carriage back down here, actually. What we need to do is hook the carriage up to the logs and just drag them over. Anything I can move by hand, I'm just going to move by hand. That's actually a cheaty way to move logs. Get one of these and kind of push it. So I realize the carriage is not going to be where we wanted it to be. Gonna be back over here by the yarder. Honestly, that's fine. So it's really just these ones. I don't even have to lift them, I just need to drag them over here. Okay. So it's about 11,000. Not a bad day's work. All things said and done. I think we got everything. Yep, so let's jump back up to the house. Zoom back in here. Got our peaceful creek flowing through. I can't actually physically go on here, I just have the thing, but that is a-okay. You can look in the windows, which is kind of cool. Got like a little smoker and some MREs. Prep table, bed in the back there. Yeah, gotta love it. I think once we get rid of this stump, we might be able to smooth this land out a little bit better. But right now, we need to look at the shop and kind of see what we're looking at for tree harvesters. So forestry machines is where we're at. So this guy's 435, 470. The Rotneys are pretty cool, but I hear the controls are kind of crazy. 375. So this is the one I was talking about. I thought it was 150, but it's 375. So that's even more expensive than I thought. And obviously, like, this guy's more expensive. This is $750,000. Arguably one of the best harvesters, but like super expensive, super slow, and really cool besides that. We have this with like the feller buncher, and this guy with like stuff that does whatever. So this guy, the bigger excavator, obviously, if we go into the customize menu, we can see it has a grapple as its main thing, and that's 10,000. The harvester head adds 32,000, making it almost a $400,000 machine. And the fast couple cost $0. So, for 365,500, a little bit cheaper than the harvester, we can get the big excavator Okay, so drop to 500. 365,000. No frills. But it doesn't have the head on it. And then we'd have to buy the head that we need. Which... that's a feller buncher. Oh, so we'd need the harvester head. It does give us access to a machine that can run a forestry mulcher, which is also very useful. And there's a tree planter, but again, we won't be able to plant trees for a while. But that's the big one, and there aren't really any other options here. There is a small one. If we go here, it also has a grapple, but it has a processor head and a fast couple. So we could get this less expensive Volvo and just use the processor head. Now that's 32,000 by itself, but it's... get rid of the beacon again. It's under 300,000, which is cheaper than the tree harvester by quite a bit, and cheaper than the other excavator. So we would still cut it down with a chainsaw, and then we would use this to process the tree. So actually debranch it and cut it into sections. It only handles up to 70 centimeter logs though, and a lot of the trees that you'll encounter, especially the full-grown ones, are going to be bigger than this. Like, is it worth it to do that when we could just get this? Although this only goes up to 65 centimeters. This goes to 70. This goes to 80. And the Hannibal is the biggest, 120 centimeters. This will handle up to 81. So unless you want to get the Hannibal, this is probably your best bet for tree harvesters. Weirdly. When you put the harvesting head on this, it can handle up to 81 centimeters. This can process up to 70 centimeters, which is even better than what this can do. Because this won't even cut down stuff that's bigger than this, so you still have to chainsaw anything bigger than that. So it might be worth doing this. Like 292, I think is what that boiled down to. I mean, it's still expensive. It's still really expensive. And then let me look at this. Okay, so this is... I see. You have the little push thing on the front, so you can like push stuff around if you need to. Or is that... No, that's the front. I'm guessing this is variable? Yeah. So there's not technically a set front or back. You can make it drive either way. And then this is designed to like grab a big heavy log. And it's like an improvement on the winch. So it like goes into the area, grabs the log, and drags it out with a lot more horsepower than what we're doing right now. And then you have like feller buncher. And what it'll do is like, you go up to it, you harvest it, and it'll grab it. And then you can harvest a couple more, and it keeps them standing upright. And you just drive it to where you want it to go. And then drop them there and process them with something like this machine with the processor head. Those are options. Those are expensive options. I mean, all of these are expensive options, really. Oh, man. Yeah, if you don't start out with these machines, it's expensive to get into. This is a good starting point, though. it's like a good 80,000 more than getting this with the processor head. So this might be the best way to go, honestly. You can cut them down with the chainsaw. I can winch them to wherever this guy is, and then process them and take them to the yarder as the cut down debranched logs. That's probably our plan, truthfully. And then we can obviously upgrade this with other stuff, and as we know, we can do a quick couple attachment on this. If I don't mind switching between the heads, like back and forth, I can put a feather buncher head on it, cut down 2 trees, drop them, switch to the processor head, and then process them. And anything that this can cut, the processor head can process, because this will handle 55 centimeter. Okay. Now we have an idea. The thing about switching is we'll need a machine shop to switch back and forth, which means it'll basically, that machine will just be stationed right there on the little shop square, and the tractor will drag stuff over to it. And then we can also get this to do any of our forestry mulching that we need to do. It's a little unwieldy, but obviously the machine will be able to run it, and that will be a good thing. So I think it's a worthwhile investment. We can also use the same excavator and the claw here, or its other like grapple claw, to load all of these onto a trailer if we so desire. But we have the yarder, so we don't really need to do that. And once we get down low enough, we would have a tree planter. I mean, this seems like the best way to start. It's like we can get the grapple. Like I said, it's a little unwieldy. I'd rather have the wider one, so the logs don't bounce around so much. Yeah, we have the processor head. So anything we cut with the chainsaw or with the feather buncher head, we can process. And then we have the fast couple, so we can do the feather buncher head. Because like if we buy this initially, we also have this by default because it's $0, and we can just switch back and forth at the shop. I think this machine is going to give us a lot of versatility, so that's kind of what we're shooting for. Up 300,000. The beacon is just a yes or no. It's only 500. Safety beacon is a yes or no, and that's only 250. And then the windows, you can do tinted or standard. I'd probably do tinted, and it doesn't cost us either way. So if we didn't care about adding the extra 750 bucks, we could just add all of our safety beacon stuff, which would be pretty cool, and have the tinted windows and the processor head that we basically need. So yeah, that's kind of what we're shooting for, I think. As far as the forestry stuff goes, for this stuff, on the other hand, okay, let's check. No, let's actually see what the sales are right now. You know, nothing that's going to help us at the moment. Now, what we really need, like, I can lease the stump grinder and get rid of those stumps, but what we should really do, get ourselves a skid steer loader. And the cheapest one is this little $35,000 guy. and it would do the job. This is the nicest one, but we don't need all that right now. And then what you do with these, number one, you have a stump grinder. Number two, you have this hydraulic breaker. This takes care of the stumps, this takes care of the rocks. And that's that. And you also have some forestry stuff here. So I can use it to cut down trees. And it has the grapple arms, so it's kind of like a filler buncher, except it's just one tree. So it cuts it, grabs it, and you take it to wherever you want it, and then drop it there to be processed. Or we have this guy, which doesn't do any grabbing, it just cuts. And we've got bale handlers, manure forks, bale spears, pellet fork, and the high dump bucket. This is a versatile machine. It's pretty inexpensive, but it doesn't do any processing for us. So that's why I'm saying the best option for the forestry stuff is going to be that excavator. But yeah, for doing the grassland, I think we're just going to rent the stump grinder. And let's see what it costs to lease this. 1,377. Yeah, I think that is going to be nice and easy. We're not going to do that until the morning, because I don't want to pay for 2 days when I only need one. We'll go ahead and grind down all the stumps on that property up top, and then we can plant as much meadow grass as we can afford. So yeah, that's the starting plan for now. And it'll give us something besides forestry to do, and a little bit of extra income. Ultimately, that's not tied directly to buying new pieces of land every time we need more money. And like, obviously the mower is not that expensive. It has a 2.1 meter width. Yeah, most of the front mowers are about there. This has a 3.5. 3.2, a little variation, but 3.1 is fine, and it's not like outrageously expensive, so that is a good place to start. And like, my tractor will run this. I don't think it will run, well, it might run this, but it's definitely not going to run them at the same time. Plus it only has the one 3-point anyway, so I can just get this and do everything with that. And then we have the baler. It's also not too pricey. 22,000, it's not bad. Should be easy to afford. Well, with the log cutting. And then I think the bales are actually small enough to do by hand, so we can probably just get like a trailer and stack them on there by hand. And that's like wicked cheap. Or, if we wanted to be fancy, we could always get the auto bale loaders, but that's 64,000, so that's a little on the expensive side. But yeah, let's sleep, and then we'll run down to the shop and lease the stump grinder and get to work on that. It's the winter. Let's actually do like 7. And it is going to lose us some of the daylight hours that we would normally be logging with, but that's okay. Yeah, 950 vehicle leasing costs, not too shabby. It's starting to snow. It is December. according to the in-game calendar here. Probably should have slept till like 8 or 9 to get some real daylight. It's coming, but it's not here yet. And we will literally just leave the winch up here while we take the grinder up to the land. And I had the thing down. Oops. Right, so let's drop that off. Alright, go to forestry equipment. Details. Lease this guy. I don't intend to have this for more than one day. Okay, that's fine. And then there we go. Put that cover up. And let's just turn it on, confirm we can. Alright, perfect. Oh, it's heavy. And it makes the tractor a little unwieldy as we go over bumps. That's going to be fun to position, and I really wish that pin hitch on the front could handle literally any weight. Even like a small one would be fantastic. Alright, I'm just gonna like move this all the way to the side. Maybe that'll help with the weight distribution. That's definitely not the tractor you want to be rolling around in December when it's snowing. Probably very cold. Okay, okay. Alright, stop it. Exactly am I stuck here? There we go. It's like I could reset to the shop, but That voids all the progress that we've made thus far. There we go. We got there. Like I said, I can't even see the tree stumps. So, it's up here. We're just gonna wait for some real daylight to happen. If I sleep, it's gonna move forward another month. I can't do that. And I guess I could keep jumping out. Seems a little ridiculous. Alright, that one's gone. I lower it enough. Can I drive over the stumps directly? Oh, I can't even drive while that's on. Okay. Okay. That's close enough. Alright. Well, I think I'm doing a little bit better than I imagined I would. I don't know why that one's not going. I'm like right on top of it. feel like I can tell it's making contact. Alright, we'll work on that one. In the daylight, and you can see what we're doing. Okay, got that one. This one is probably just a matter of like finding the sweet spot. There we go. Well, there are some mods that let you do this with your chainsaw. I know a lot of people prefer that. Like I said, I am trying to go kind of no mods with this, so. This is probably one of the cheapest options that we have available to us. There's another one. There we go. Gotta find it. I'm stuck on something. Just the ground. There's a rock right in front of me, so. Oh, that was perfect spot. Perfect angle and everything. Okay. That didn't take much. That one. Hey, your boy Casper. A great name. Challenge is going pretty good. We've managed to actually purchase this tractor and the winch that goes with it, which is down at the shop at the moment. Clear off our first piece of land. We've got this stump grinder leased. We can kind of clear off the land if I can line it up right. And we also have a yarder leased, so we can do the the forestry work a little bit faster. There we go. So we don't have to winch things all the way down to the sawmill. But yeah, it's going good. Got that one. There's one in the grass here. So obviously you'll note that I've done a grass texture painted all over this land. I'm going to come back over it once we have the stumps cleared. Yeah, unfortunately I'm not doing any server play right now, but it is fun when you can find some people to play with. Especially with the harvesters and like driving along next to them. That's one of the best ones. Yeah, so that's basically the idea. I'm just going to start with meadow grass and just have something farmable besides trees that we can kind of count on to have an income coming in without having to buy more land to do it. Does not want to do that one for whatever reason. There we go. It's kind of tucked in the ground there. Looks like there's a little guy right there. Hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate that. And ultimately we'll turn this into a little grass field once we can clear the rocks off of it too. But we're just going to start with the meadow grass, like I said. So this tractor is a little underpowered for what we're trying to do, and having all that weight on the back, it's very back heavy. Sometimes it'll just take off whether we want it to or not. Alright, got that one. Go. A little while ago I was looking at tree harvesters and how much those are going to cost. They are expensive machines. Okay, a little direction. I got it. Jeez. Don't think there's any stumps down that way. Okay. These stumps are real finicky. They're just impossible to get the right angle on. Got it. And here, obviously. Some of them go nice and easy, but yeah, some of them are just very stubborn. Nope. There we go. Damn. Got this guy here. This one shouldn't be too bad. Oh geez. Oh geez. getting the angle and like holding the right position seems to be the toughest part here. Oh yeah, and then you'll see there in the distance we did manage to get ourselves a house. A nice, cheap, kind of bombed out bus with a bed and some MREs in it. That gives us our sleeping trigger, which is kind of what we needed. Oh, that's not so easy. The land here is a little messed up. Might have to detach and come at it from a different angle. Nah, that's not. Alright, so let's push it out of that little ditch there. No. Okay, well, that's a reset to shop thing, so let me move away from it. See it on the map. I've got it. Yes. Honestly, while we're up here, let's reset those two. It's nice that that is an option when you get in those weird situations there. A little weird moving this thing around because it's so incredibly back heavy. That's why I swing it to the side, so it's just a little bit less mass, like straight back. I think it helps a little bit. And technically I could use it on the stumps over here too, because we've been clearing this out. But I'll wait to do all of that. At that point, we might even have a skid steer to do that with, which would be so much better. Okay, not looking too shabby, actually. Yeah, we have to lower it that time. That's great. Got it? Alright. Because the land is so weird here, I'm trying to back up on it. There we go. Got that one. Don't go back. Don't go back. I'm trying to do the same thing over here. Nice and gentle. Alright. Let's patrol the land here, if we missed anything. Obviously there's some stuff that I can't get rid of, because it's like decorative stuff. That one, that is one. letting it roll backwards here. Going along the edge. Seeing if there's anything tucked in the grass that we missed. Does not look like it. Just not so far. Okay. Looks pretty good overall. I don't see any more obvious stumps. Let me zoom out here. Small piece of land, so I think we'd see them if they were there. Let's do an on foot with the flashlight. That's part of the house decor. Permanent. My yarder rope. I could try to grind this down. I don't know that I need to. These are also permanent. Decorative bits. As is this guy. We should see how much it costs to lease the skid steer and the hydraulic breaker. Obviously this isn't my land, but because if I could like flatten this land out a little bit, that'd be ideal. Literally just get it to this height maybe. Oh, looks like we're good. I'd have to break this rock, and this rock. And we could literally just put the rocks anywhere. But then we could level all of this into like a nice flat field area that we could do grass in pretty easy. That's first things first. Oh, shop. Into that's owned equipment. We want leased equipment. Forestry equipment. So we don't want to return the yarder, but we do want to return this. We are done with it for now. Yep. And then we're going to reset our tractor. And we're going to fast travel down to the shop and get my tractor and my winch. Get them back to where I actually need them to be. Before we do too much of that, let's actually look at leasing costs for a skid steer, even just like a cheap one. So that'd be $17.85 for a day. Okay. And for the hydraulic breaker. Okay, so about $2,000. I think that's infinitely worth it. Infinitely worth it. We can go break those rocks. Get them out of the way. We'll actually need to lease a bucket for this too, so we can move the gravel out of the way also. keep it up this way for now. Because once we got the stumps out of the way, and once the rocks are out of the way, we can make a decent grass field. Even work on like leveling the terrain, so it's just a lot easier to work. Not exactly what I had planned for the stream, but you know what? I think it's a good change of pace. We'll clear this plot of land, get it working for us. It's a good option. It's like, well, it's acceptable to just buy a land, strip it of trees, buy the next piece of land, strip it of trees. It's definitely better to just have the land you already own being able to consistently reproduce some finances for you, so you're not constantly having to buy new land in order to continue making any kind of profit. And yeah, the grass that we're going to get from this tiny little spit of land at the top of the hill, probably not going to be super substantial, but it is going to be recurring. And that's exactly what we're looking for. So the top part we'll try to like level out, I think. And then we'll just smooth it down along the ridge in the parts that aren't. Come on. They said you could do this. I mean, they didn't really, but I assumed you could do this. We're going to need to unfold it. And turn it on. Oh, there's a stump under there. Damn it. I'm gonna have to lease the thing again. I mean, since we have the skid steer, we might just lease the attachment for the skid steer. That's frustrating. Oh, you couldn't even see it. And there's... oh. I thought for a second there was another stump under that one. But no, not this time. Let's see what's under rock number 3. Okay, so turn that off. We go leased equipment, skid steer, loader tools. This we can return because we don't need that now. And let's grab this and reset it and fast travel to the shop. And now let's look at stump grinder. Okay, that's super cheap. I literally need this for one stump. I'm so mad there was a stump under that rock. We'll go take care of the stump. We'll turn the stump grinder, reset the skid steer one more time, and then get a bucket. And then we'll move all of that gravel somewhere. I'm not sure where I want to put that yet. I mean, I guess I have enough money to buy a super cheap trailer. We could load it into a trailer and either like take it somewhere else and dump it, or drive it all the way up to the iron mine where the rock crusher is at and sell it at the rock crusher. I think I get better rates from the rock crusher than I would. I don't even know if the general store takes rocks. Great demand at Elm Creek. We're not going to be selling anything to Elm Creek anytime soon, so okay, just hold on to those horses. Yeah, when I get the skid steers, I usually go with the tracked Komatsu. I've never really used this one. Seems to be doing the job though. So, yeah, no shade to it. I do prefer my tracked vehicles if I can get them. I don't always trust the wheeled ones to do what I need them to do, especially when I'm doing like forestry work. And especially with this particular piece of land, it's so hard to get over the hump here. This has managed to do it quite easily both times though, so that's good. Alright, so we need to lower that. Got it. And like we said, jump back into the shop, return that. And we can reset this. And once more, we're going to do a couple things here. First of all, skid steer loader tools. We're going to grab the high dump buckets. 204, that's great. And then we're going to go up here to trailers. We're just going to get a nice cheap trailer. Probably this guy. You can turn it into a bale trailer, or it can just be a capacity trailer. What we need right now is the capacity trailer. We're going to buy that. Back up here. This is a ginormous bucket for how small this skid steer is. That is hilarious. Holy crap, that's a big bucket. Okay, well let's... Oh. It just like took off there. Let's get this up to the land. I'll probably just dump the rocks somewhere for now until we have either a larger capacity trailer or a faster vehicle to run back and forth with, because the iron mine is forever away, like really, really far away. And my tractor can make a max velocity of 16 miles per hour. So it just makes for a really long trip, especially if you have to make a couple runs of it. I cannot believe how big this bucket is compared to the skid steer. Watch out, deer. Like, it is ginormous. The one that they have for the front loader is nowhere near this large. Just nowhere near. It's pretty comical, actually. Now, once we have this gravel moved out of the way, we can return the skid steer and the bucket. And we have a trailer to use for bales when we start baling the grass that we'll be planting on the land. Well, not planting's the wrong word. I'll be putting meadow grass on the land until we have enough money to get the equipment to make a real field. And that's going to be a while because we're also doing precision farming, so it's like a whole thing. Get the soil samples and make sure it's fertilized correctly, and getting the weed control sprayer. Yeah, it's a whole thing. But we will slowly acquire all of that equipment as we go. Alright. We're going to park this here. We're going to jump into our tractor. Honestly, we will probably just do this backwards. I can connect this to a pin hitch. And I don't want to leave the winch here and have to come back for it. Does mean we're going to move a little slower, but we'll get to take all of our equipment with us. Honestly, never thought I would find any kind of use for the pin hitch, but this is it. This is it right here. So when I was planning out this series, I actually considered doing grass like right away. Just clearing off that land and hoping I had enough money from that to set up the grass work. But I was worried, since I wouldn't have a house, like how slow that would be. Like I'd literally have to just sit around for 3 months not doing much of anything. I was like, that's not gonna work. So we went with the buying new land strategy, and it has been going very well thus far. And we should have plenty of lumber left in this section to afford the next piece of land. So that is still in the plans. Like I said, I also want to set up the grass so we have residual income coming in and just something different from what we've been doing this whole time. We've got about 10 minutes left in the stream. I want to get this up here a little bit more quickly. This is the area where we're using the winch, so that's really all the further I needed to bring it. We're going to set it right here. And then we'll pull the trailer from the back to help us move just that much faster. Because yeah, it's just gonna fly down the road here. I have a feeling the bucket is going to hold more than this trailer will, which is kind of entertaining. But the tractor does move a little bit faster than the skid steer. I was thinking about just dropping it on my other piece of land in that clear flat area, but I think it might be too many trips. So I might do it somewhere a little bit closer. Maybe up here, off to the other side of the trail there. Not what I asked for. Alright, let's approach this from downhill. Like, can it even lift this? No, it can't. Alright, so we're starting to observe the limits of our skid steer here. I don't understand why they'd make the bucket so outrageously large if it's not going to be something that the skid steer can actually lift. Looks like it can handle about 400 liters. Nope, don't. We're out. Oh, crap. Okay. This is why I use front loaders for this kind of stuff. And also why it makes sense to rent some of, or end up purchasing some of the more powerful skid steers. Alright. See how we do with that. No. Oh, jeez. Alright, let's just keep it on the ground until we get into position to dump it. Well, at least it's going where it's supposed to go. In all fairness, I think this skid steer is meant more for like yard use. Like a sawmill yard or lumber yard kind of stuff. I think this is a little heavier than what the engineers intended. And I'm actually pretty impressed with the trailer. It's holding a lot more than I expected it would be capable of. It looks like we have 3 liters left in the bucket. Let's bring this down here. Can't quite get at that. Okay. We'll just have that ready to go. And let's hop in here. 1,600 liters of rocks. The question is, where the heck do we want to take it? Like I said, right now we're just trying to get it out of the way. This will be basically the last thing that we do in this stream tonight. I'm thinking we drop it right here. Nothing else really going on here. We can change the tip side. It's not letting me unload it. I might actually have to drive this down to, like Shift I or Control I. I don't have access to this land. That's why it won't let me do it. Okay. Well, let's take it down to land that we do have access to. It's nice that the tractor can actually maintain its full speed while we're towing that much rock behind us. And it's funny, the trailer is just shy of holding all of the gravel from that one rock. So it'll probably be like 3 more of these trips, but that will be next stream. Well, next Farming Simulator 22 stream. Our next stream that we're going to be doing will be EVE Online. That'll be on Tuesday at 7 p.m. And then some more EVE Online on Thursday. If you guys play that and you're just getting started or you haven't ever used a referral code, there is one linked right there at the top of my, or on the right hand side of my About section. So you can follow that and get yourself 1,000,000 free skill points, if you would like to. But yeah, right here between these 2 patches of grass, it's a nice wide open area. We're gonna dump all these rocks out and we're gonna call it a night. So thank you all for watching. I think it's been a really good stream. There we go. And got it all. Yeah, I appreciate you watching me work the farm here just a little bit. And we'll be back in a few more weeks for more Farming Simulator. Alright guys, have a good night.